I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC heavyweight contender Jon Jones scoffs at the idea that Ciryl Gane will be the toughest kickboxer he's ever faced. Quote, Gane's last three opponents had terrible defense, unquote. Jon Jones doesn't agree that Ciryl Gane is the toughest kickboxer he has faced. Jon Jones is set to headline UFC 285 on this Saturday against Ciryl Gane in Las Vegas for the vacant heavyweight championship of the world. It's an intriguing matchup as it is the first time Jon Jones will be fighting in 3 years in his heavyweight debut. Heading into the fight, Jon Jones is, of course, the betting favorite, but many believe Gane will pose some serious problems on the feet for the former light heavyweight champion Jon Jones. However, Jon Jones doesn't rate Ciryl Gane kickboxing as highly as others do. Instead, he believes Thiago Santos was a better striker. Man, I just finished watching my Thiago Santos fight. I think it's crazy that you guys consider Gane the most technical kickboxer I have ever faced. Everything Thiago did had bad intentions on it. Dude had lightning speed, power, explosiveness, crazy versatility. Gane's last three opponents had terrible defense. Those guys couldn't stop a kick if their life depended on it. He's fought flat-footed boxers his last three fights. Best wrestler he ever fought was Francis. That's wild. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let me see. That's basically it. That's the story. I would say this. This is the first time I read this article, so I normally almost never do any research for any of these stories. I'm an MMA casual, so I would just, but it was in the title, so I did want to just do a very quick reference. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just look at Jon Jones' last three opponents. Jon Jones' last three opponents was Reyes, Santos, and Anthony Smith. And just for the record, and I don't know what this means, but literally for the record, even though Jon Jones says Ciryl Gane's last three opponents had terrible defenses, Jon Jones' last three opponents, Reyes, Santos, and Anthony Smith, have all literally been knocked out in their last fight. Maybe a TKO in one of the two, but Smith, I believe it was a KO, TKO, Santos, a KO, TKO, and Reyes, KO. Reyes have been knocked out like in his last three fights. So I personally don't think that was a great example for Jon Jones, and I'm going for Jon Jones. That's my boy, Jones family. Stand up. I definitely believe Jon Jones is going to defeat Ciryl Gane, but Jon Jones, it's personally when I just did a little bit of research, a tiny bit, hit the Google button real quick, and it's like Jon Jones to say that Ciryl Gane's last three opponents had terrible defenses, and then you look at Jon Jones' last three opponents, and all three of them, not decision, not a split decision, not a canceled fight, all three of them have been stopped via KO or TKO literally in their last. None of them are on winning streaks. Anthony Smith is not on a winning streak. Thiago Santos is not on a winning streak. Dominic Reyes is not on a winning streak. All three of them have lost their literal last fight by KO or TKO. Let me know your opinion of this story. Do you agree with Jon Jones that Ciryl Gane last three opponents had terrible defenses? Or do you think Jon Jones' last three opponents had terrible defenses? And you know what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the one thing I always say is like, the MMA math, it just doesn't work. Because you've never fought a champion, because you never fought someone in Jon Jones' level, does not mean Ciryl Gane cannot beat Jon Jones, right? Ciryl Gane could probably beat Jon Jones today. Jones could beat him tomorrow. They fight 5 minutes later. So, The only thing that matters is what's going to happen on Saturday night between them, right? It doesn't matter if every opponent Ciryl Gane has ever fought, Jon Jones beat, and that doesn't mean Ciryl Gane can't beat Jon Jones. And I really want to put that out there. MMA math is not a real thing. It doesn't work. Right, so if one opponent beats another opponent, doesn't mean that opponent loses to the next. It just doesn't work. We'll see. Personally, I haven't seen any Ciryl Gane fighting anyone on Jon Jones' level. I don't think that's very true, but that does not mean one punch in the heavyweight division. Right, Jon Jones has not fought in 3 years. Right, he's moving up to a completely different division. If he was staying at light heavyweight, okay. But, after fighting, not fighting for 3 years, coming back to a completely different division, the one division where one punch from almost any heavyweight can put any other heavyweight to sleep, right? Whether he's a good kickboxer or a striker or a wrestler, none of that matters. We will see what happens on Saturday night. I'm Jason UFC. Today we had a story about Jon Jones scoffs at the idea that Ciryl Gane will be the toughest kickboxer he's ever faced. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.